Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chatterbox Says. Welcome to, I believe, episode 4 of The Box. And today I am joined with Fernando. So, Fernando, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello. I don't really know what to say,
Yeah,
but
Just,
yeah.
yeah, I have a bunch of questions written down for Fernando. So, to make it easier for you, I think I'll just like go down the list. How is quarantine's life treating you?
Honestly, it wasn't too much different before. I stayed inside all day.
For sure?
So
Oh my
y-
God.
yeah, I was before I was a really big hermit. Now I want to go out more, but I can't.
Um, And how I like we talked about this earlier, but you've been working out, so do you have like a what's your workout schedule?
Um, Honestly, I just work out whenever I feel like it because sometimes I'm just like way too exhausted and I don't know why. I think it's like maybe I'm not getting enough vitamin D.
Oh yeah, for sure. And do you think how different is school now that we're going through this distance learning?
Um, it's quite different, but it's also kind of the same in some ways since I'm going to Baden to make up credits, so like it's not like I did too much work there,
Okay.
but it's a little weird doing it through a screen now.
I've
Although one of
noticed.
my
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah. You keep going, you keep going.
oh no, although one of my classes is always online, so it's only like a third of or two-thirds of the day have changed. Otherwise, the rest is just kind of the same.
Oh, so it hasn't affected you that much.
Not too much. I just want to get some things done right now, but I can't.
What things do you want to get done?
Well, I probably could, but I just want to risk it. I want to get a job right now, but I also don't want to bring in COVID into my house because of my grandma.
Oh yeah, that's smart. Yeah, a lot of, especially our generation, we really want to get things done. Like we want to start driving and we want to just like get jobs, but uh, staying inside really prevents us from doing that. And do you want to, should we start talking about, um, you recently brought up to me that you wanted to talk about life as a former addict.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, my weed addiction really got in the way of a lot of things. I was really apathetic, so I wasn't able to emotionally respond in a correct manner with things that I really should have, and it really got in the way of some of my relationships within terms of like my family.
Yeah. Do you think that someone could have helped you, or was it kind of a battle with yourself?
Mm, honestly, it's something that like you could only really when you try to help somebody, but it's really only them that can make the change at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only really lead by example. So I isn't I didn't like learn from somebody else. I'm more of just like I really fucked up and I'll get on that later, but
Mm.
yeah, it made me realize like a lot of things I was doing wrong and I really just took a turn for the better and I'm really glad that I did.
Yeah. So was was your did your addiction have anything to do with like peer pressure?
Uh no, not really. I mean like I was offered it, but if I could have like easily said no, it's more of just like I already have like addictive personality to begin with. I'm already like as kids we're quite impulsive, but me especially, I can be quite impulsive.
While you were addicted, did you know that you were addicted, or were you kind of denying it?
Uh, at the first half, I didn't know it, and then at the second half, um, yeah, I knew it. It was just really difficult, and this is the overspan of like 2.5 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, when did you are you still in recovery or are you all better?
Um, I mean, I still smoke every now and then, but not as like something that I do at home. It's more of just like if I'm going over like sometimes I go over my friend's house. Like I do this safety precautions and all that. But
Okay.
yeah, no, like we what's the last time? Like a month ago. So yeah, it's like not even close to how I did it, how much I did it before.
Okay, so you could easily just turn it on and off.
Yeah, although if I still get withdrawals from it if I do it for long enough.
Hmm. Can you explain what a withdrawal is?
Um, basically, imagine like you're on the internet every day, and then all of a sudden, like one day, you just stop, and then like now your brain's just like, fuck, dude, I want to go on YouTube or like I want to go on social media and see like how my posts are doing or like what memes are there. And
Oh
so like yeah, if you just don't, if you stop introducing like say like THC or MDMA or what else alprazolam or it's otherwise known as Xanax,
yeah.
then yeah, all of a sudden your brain just wants that, and it's there's a sorry, I'm kind of tired right now.
No, you're good. You're good.
um, I'm trying to think. Give me a sec. Let me search something up.
All right.
Yeah, so with withdrawals, there's like mental and physical symptoms. So you can start feeling a lot of anxiety, and that can manifest within like your stomach feeling. You feel sick to your stomach, or with a mental with the mental aspect of it is like you're feeling like extremely depressed, or like you're just feeling like absolute shit, or like to the point of like feeling like bipolar and stuff like that. And withdrawals vary. Like with heroin, it feels like your skin is being scraped off. But with weed withdrawals, you feel like shit. You don't feel hungry. And overall, you're just quite anxious and depressed and irritable.
Oh
So
wow.
it like varies and with the symptoms, and it depends on what drug and how long. And just
Um,
from
what symptom have you like experienced the most with?
I get a lot of anxiety when I stop.
Oh, for real?
Like I get a lot, and so it's yeah, at first it was quite difficult because it was also during yeah, it was during school, and I'm already like a very anxious person to begin with,
Hmm.
and so like it just gets exacerbated whenever I or whenever I got off of weed, like for the not the last time, but like the last major time I got off of weed because it like it was on and off with me like really getting off of it, and then there was like one final time where I'm like, okay, I need to like stop, and if I'm ever gonna do it again, it's gonna be like on occasion when I hang out with people. I'm not gonna buy my own stuff. I'm not gonna bring it home. Like
Hmm.
I need to stop this because also like I need to be like actually a good role model for my little sister as well.
Oh yeah. So would you say that your little sister is what motivated you the most to stop?
Um, no, it was a multitude of things, but she was one of the big parts.
Mhm. Do you
It
want
was
to get
also
into any other motivations?
overall like I was getting not fat, but I was nearing like 20% body fat. Usually I'm around like 10 or 15, and I was like, damn, like I am just out of shape. Like, um, I was biking with my friend, and like I just could not keep up with him, or like it was just like I just felt so out of shape and I felt like shit. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, this is not right. And like, it was before like this really big thing that I did where I really fucked up. Um, and it really, I would not be the person I am today without like that fuck up.
Hmm. I'm guessing you don't want to go into depth about it.
I could, um, yeah. So basically, so obviously you know what acid is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a psychedelic, and so I thought I was taking acid when I took this substance known as N-bomb, which basically like it can be fatal, and it can either go really good or really bad with people from like some trip reports that I read with it, and it went really bad for me. And so yeah, basically after that, like it I got like not like PTSD, but like a mini PTSD, and like it kind of like terrified me for a few days afterwards. And yeah, I really thought it over and like what I brought out from it, and like what it showed me about myself, and it showed me that like I just really needed to fucking change. Like I was behind on a lot of things,
Mm.
like things I should have done years ago. Um, and so like yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on a lot of things that I really should have been doing for who knows how long.
All right.
So yeah.
So if you could like tell your younger self or your past self any advice, what would you tell yourself?
What just happened?
Oh, hello. Are you good?
Hello?
All right, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'll repeat my question. What would you tell your past self if you could give your past self any advice?
What age would I be? Like 5 years back or 2 years back?
Um, just like in the span of addiction.
Uh, I wouldn't say don't do it because what I did led up to a certain amount of events that led up to that really bad fuck up that I told you about just now, which it was well deserved. Like it was terrifying in the moment, but it was well deserved.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I would change anything, honestly.
Okay, so you just like everything, just let everything pan out.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes things happen for a reason.
Hmm. So you believe that everything that happened is um it needed to happen to be to do you think like let me rephrase that. Do you think everything needs to happen for a reason for you for yourself to be happy, even the bad stuff?
Yeah, no, lately I've been trying to find a meaning in my suffering. And like, oh, I've been doing that, but like even getting cold. Yeah, but yeah, no, I think finding the meaning in your suffering is a really important thing. Otherwise, like, what are you doing?
Mhm. So, so uh I just wanted like to ask you like can you describe what life is like during recovery?
Um, some things just do not feel the same. Usually when I hang out with friends, this is only with certain friends,
Mhm.
but yeah, sometimes when I hang out with friends, like it just does not feel the same. Usually, like we're all getting high and like having fun, but you take that out of it and like it's just not the same. So that really makes you like question like what the hell are all doing together? Because like when you get down to it, there's me and some of my friends don't have much to anything in common other than smoking. Like some of my
Wow.
friends are like really big extroverts. I'm a pretty big introverted person, and like they're not very neurotic, and I'm hella neurotic, and so like you just really wonder like your personalities just really don't match up, your interests don't match up. But the only thing that really stays there is like smoking, and once you take that out, yeah, and you just question that relationship and really just start to like separate.
So you've lost relationships after quitting.
I wouldn't say like lost, but you just stop. You just kind of like go your separate ways, I guess.
Hmm.
Like friends at the beginning of freshman year, and then you go to senior year, and you have like the people who like are your actual friends and the ones that you actually give a damn about.
Yeah. Has anyone tried to, has anyone like been a key role in helping you recovery or get better?
Other than like the thought like of just wanting to make my sister like proud of myself. Uh, no, like this has been like it's really just been all me.
Wow. So do you think that this battle has been harder just because you were fighting it yourself?
Um, should I have a cut? Well then. Um, sorry, can you repeat that? I spaced out.
Okay. Do you think the battle was harder for yourself because you were fighting it alone?
Uh, not necessarily. I mean, if I had people in my corner, that would help. But overall, like I just been feeling like a lot better, and it's been like perpetually motivating me,
Hmm.
like just being more sober and grounded.
Okay. So, since you're getting better, have you felt like do you feel like a happier person from before?
Um, I feel more satisfied. I don't know if happy is the correct term because like that's temporary, but satisfaction, if you're thinking in the right manner and you have the right people around you, then yeah, that lasts forever.
Yeah. So, uh, how would you explain to someone who doesn't know what depression is like, uh, how would you explain what depression is, basically?
Um, well, this is for me. If someone else is listening with that has depression, it's probably different for them. But because like you have like a bunch of different types of depression. You have major depressive disorder, bipolar, otherwise known as manic, and then you have like two versions of that. Um, so it really like it changes. But for me, it's like major depressive disorder, um, and plus I have a like two or three anxiety disorders, PTSD, probably general anxiety disorder. I think so, and I have like a very odd form of OCD.
Hmm.
But yeah, like it feels like there's a veil between me and the world. Like when I talk to people, I'm just not all there, and I'm just kind of like in my head conversing with myself constantly, just overthinking literally everything.
Yeah.
Um, like probably after this chat, I'm probably going to be thinking of 7 different parts where like I could have said things better.
Yeah. It's okay, man.
Yeah, but sorry, we're going to ask another question.
I'm just gonna ask. Can you describe? You said that you had a weird type of OCD. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called pure O because with OCD, basically there's an obsessive and there's a compulsive component to it, and the obsessive part is the part that you don't really see. It's basically like you think the world's gonna like this is more severe forms, but you say like you think the world's gonna end, and so you need to flick that switch across room 3 or like 5 times, and
Oh
so
wow.
then you have a compulsion to go do it, then you go do that. Um, that's like a very basic form of it, and uh, they have it with germs as well. Like if you like are thinking about like the germs on like your hands, then you're gonna like compulsively go wash them. And so, or like if you think something doesn't look right and isn't symmetrical, then you move it and all that. That's how people usually think of OCD, where it's like you just want something to be like in the perfect position.
Wow.
Um,
It seems a lot like
but
superstition.
yeah, no, yeah, superstitious is a big part of it. And so for me, I have only the obsessive part of it. I don't have a compulsive component. Like sometimes I do compulsive things, but it's mostly all in my head. I do like a lot of mental rituals and all that. I get like disturbing thoughts and images a
Okay.
lot. Yeah, because you ever get like you ever think of something or like you get like a picture in your head that you really just don't like and you push it to the back of your head and don't think about it much.
Yeah.
I get that a lot, and I can't push it to the back of my head. So I like it's really more of a matter of me trying to like understand that like not all my thoughts are me, and really at the end of the day, what is me is the thoughts that I pick and choose to like integrate into my personality and actually believe about myself and the world around me.
Oh, dude, once you were saying that, I just like, cause when I think about it, it's like when I think of thoughts, I think it's like my fault if I think about something messed up and I feel like a messed up person. But so what you're basically saying is like, um, you pick and choose what thoughts like what you associate with yourself. So you told yourself it was. I mean, how hard was it to push thoughts into the back of your head?
It's sometimes it's really difficult, especially on days that I'm much more neurotic.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, no, it gets quite difficult. Sometimes I spend like maybe up to like an hour or two trying to justify them, or just like figure out a way to like why the fuck am I like this? So yeah, and then it gets me extremely anxious. So I bite my fingernails to the point where I need to put a band-aid on one of them because if I like grab something and if I grab it tight with my fingernail too bitten off, then it starts hurting.
Do you know if there are any triggers to this, to these thoughts?
Sometimes they just pop up randomly. Uh, yeah, with the images, they can pop up at any time. With the thoughts, like if I think one wrong thing, even with like a friend, like something that I'm just like, why did I even think that? Like it was just, I can go on that thought for like it will subside, but then it will come back the next day.
Oh,
Yeah, so like some just like I'm really just in my head most of the day, and so I'm just yeah, it's just, I'm just out of it and spaced out, and it gets really difficult to get some things done, especially with school.
yeah, I would bet. Have you talked to any of your teachers for help, or do they not know?
I have a what was it called again? I
Oh,
think it was I got something for this when I went to the yeah a 405 plan or a
oh yeah.
504 plan.
We were talking about that. When we were still in El Camino together.
Yeah, so when I went to the psych ward, I worked with a social worker, and she got with the district or like the school or whatever to provide me with this, and it's been really helpful. It allows me to wear headphones in class because like just I figured that music helps me a lot, instrumental music specifically, just because words and like trying to listen to a teacher talk and hear someone say words just kind of interferes with each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. So music has like, um, besides music, has there anything that like you don't have to worry about getting like you don't have to overthink too much? Has there been like an activity where you're not all in your head?
Video games help a lot.
Video games? All right.
Yeah, I that's like my second addiction right there.
Yo, what games do you play?
Rainbow Six Siege. I used to play Destiny, but I gave up with that game because it just uh, Battlefront 2, but I don't really play it anymore. Minecraft, and then I played like a bunch of browser games with some of my friends.
Right. So aside from video games, is that it?
Uh, yeah, like I'm working with my therapist to learn some techniques to help me out with my Puro, but it's kind of hard working with therapists over the phone. So yeah.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Um, how often do you meet with your therapist?
Before it was once every week on Wednesday,
Hmm.
but now it's like every other week on like some arbitrary day and time.
Do you look forward to your meetings?
Uh, Not as much anymore because like there's just not a lot going on, so it's just kind of boring and awkward.
Hmm.
It's more just a rain check.
Whew. Should I see? Um, have you like for depression, have you ever experienced like excessive crying?
Yeah, no, I've cried a lot, and sometimes I just can't cry. Especially at funerals, I find myself incapable of crying at funerals. Like I feel the sadness and like the mental pain, but I cannot bring myself to cry. And if I can, for like two drops, and that's it. But usually, like it really hits me like a few weeks afterwards, and then I feel it all.
Oh. Um, so have you ever tried to like so you said that you try to force yourself to cry?
Um, yeah, because I was like, what the fuck is like wrong with me? I should be crying. Like my nephew just died.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't sometimes.
Um, have how hard was it? How hard is it for you to sleep?
Some days not too difficult. Um, that's something that weed actually helped me with was sleeping, but because I have like insomnia from my PTSD. Um, but now I'm trying to like learn different techniques. I'm trying to like meditate before going to sleep because I find that that helps me calm down my muscles and overall just lower my level of anxiety that I'm feeling at the moment.
Okay, I'm just wondering, but do you turn off your phone before you sleep, or do you just just leave it on?
Uh, I usually like bring up some like decently long video, turn over the phone, and just kind of like listen to like the sound, but not really too much, and I just like try to knock out.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I do. Yeah. So, so has sleep been a big problem with you or no?
Ever since fourth grade, yeah, really big problem.
Fourth grade?
That's when it happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a seriously big problem after that, and I have not gotten like a good amount of sleep for like a week straight since then.
Wow. Hmm. So, I'm trying to look at over my questions. Oof. Wow, I think I went over everything. Here. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up so we could just get a
Oh,
conversation going?
I have this I have this interesting thing known as the. Have you ever heard of the five factor model?
No, I have not.
Well, yeah. Since I want to go in the field of clinical psychology when I
Mm,
grow up, and I want to become a therapist. Because like since I've gone through my own traumas, I want to help people go through theirs. Just because I think that's a quite important thing for everybody to strive to want to assist the world in some type of manner. Just so
yeah,
like we
respect, man.
yeah, because we all need to try to be working to forward the world. Because like say someone says like, oh yeah, I'm not going to make that much of a difference, but what if like a million other people say that? What if like a third of the world said that? Well, then that's a problem.
Yeah,
So like we need to start making change at the individual level and have more community, and that's
yeah,
something that's really a big problem within today's society, especially with the not just like it's because of the digital age with the whole internet thing. You have less people interacting less within person and more like we are right now, but for different
yeah,
reasons, obviously, through the internet. And so like this kind of fracturing society um, more. And since technology is like is rapidly advancing, then society as a whole is just going to be have a hard time keeping up with everything.
yeah.
But yeah, back to what I was saying with the five factor model. It's actually a really cool model for basically it's a model for the dimensions of personality,
Yeah.
and it really like goes to show how like complex we can be as humans. And so basically, I remember it by this term known as ocean, and it's goes openness to experience, conscientiousness, uh, extroversion, agreeableness, and eroticism. And so openness would it's closely linked with intelligence, and it has two aspects to it, known as give me a sec. Is it here? Yeah, known as openness and intellect. And so basically, it has to do with whether like artistic people tend to be pretty open. People like Elon Musk have high openness, and so like a part of it is like creativity. Um, oh my god,
All right.
should have done this more around seven.
All right. I'll, where do you fall in the five factor thing?
Well, within this dimension, I'm not really sure because I know I'm an open person,
Hmm.
but I'm also kind of retarded. So all I'm thinking is like that one meme with Alex Jones.
All right, here, let me search that up.
Like just search up like Alex Jones says he's retarded on a JRE.
Wait, do you watch Joe Rogan?
Yeah,
Dude, I love him, dude.
dude, sick ass podcast.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. All right, I saw it. Um, I have a question. Is there anything else about the five factor? Wait, how do you call it?
Five factor model.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
anything else about the five factor model?
Yeah, there's four other dimensions,
All
and
right.
there's the second one is conscientiousness, which is industriousess and orderliness.
Mm,
So industriousness is like how much you self-discipline and how like efficient you are within or like competent within like conducting yourself. So yeah, conscientious people, extremely conscientious people, are known as workaholics,
yeah.
and just people who are decently conscientious are people like really get stuff done. And something that's really interesting with conscientiousness is that it has barely any link with IQ because
Oh my, really?
yeah, which I think is pretty interesting because conscientiousness is the ability to like plan
And
and
work
like you
hard.
plan, yeah, and to work hard. And IQ is problem solving capabilities or general intelligence, which allows you to think steps ahead. So like you like say someone with like I don't know like 100 IQ, which is like around the average, versus someone with like 140 solving a puzzle. That person with 140 would be 10 steps ahead of that person with 100 IQ. But if that person with 100 IQ is very high in conscientiousness, then they're going to get more shit done
Hmm.
because it's because say that person with 140 IQ doesn't have much conscientiousness and they're just quite lazy and they don't conduct
Wow.
themselves within a very efficient manner. They're going to get more shit done and they're going to get further within this world than the person with 140 IQ. Now that's an extreme example, but it's really interesting actually.
Wait, so you're saying that like someone with high conscientious, he's like, so I mean, people who have high IQ, are they generally more lazy?
No, I'm saying that IQ is not related with conscientiousness, and if it is, the it's not very linked with it. But people with high IQ, like they can either be really lazy or very they can work very hard. It really just depends on how they were raised and like what they tell themselves as like the narrative that they give themselves and some other factors, and also the society they live in. Because in places like India, where there's a so like a is it called the feudal system? I forgot. Or no, caste system.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Conscientiousness actually is not a dimension of personality in there. It changes from society to society because there's no point in like trying to save up money if you're a peasant because you're just not gonna you can't raise up. But yeah, and if you're already like high up, then there's no point of like
Oh
even
yeah,
trying because you just stay there.
yeah. I know what you mean. Cause like, there's no point of working hard if you're in the bottom of that caste system, and like, there's
Yeah,
like, guessing that there's a certain cap of like how hard you can work. So
yeah.
yeah, and it's not like you could move up, right? In India.
No, caste system. Once you're where you are, unless you like kill somebody and take all their money or like do something like very extreme, you're not gonna go up in a caste system.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next dimension of personality is extroversion, which has to do with enthusiasm and assertiveness. And basically, it's a response to a positive emotion. So someone much more extroverted is just straight up like they're like gonna be like very spippy and like just happy-go-lucky and very social. They're gonna be they have more dominance, and so like they're gonna be better at like putting their foot down rather than someone who's low in extrovert with an extroversion. They tend to be like leaders and all that. So if someone's at the forefront of some movement, they're gonna be an extrovert. Um, yeah, but it's within all the dimensions of personality, it's not good to be at either of the extremes because extroverted people can also be quite reckless
Mm.
as well, which it's pretty interesting because like when you bring all of these things to the extreme, then problems begin to arise. If you're too low in openness, so then you're quite close-minded. If you're too high in openness, well, then you're probably I'm not really sure what would be the downsides, but you'd with like Elon Musk. I remember I was hearing him talk to Joe Rogan. He's extremely high in openness. He's a very intelligent and creative individual because you would have to be if you're like him,
Yeah.
or rather, he is the way he is because he's like that. But yeah, no, he says he's like constantly thinking. He just cannot shut his brain off, which would kind of suck if you think about it. It would be pretty cool to like think like that, but I imagine after a bit of time, it'd be kind of annoying.
Hmm.
Yeah. And to
Yeah.
the next dimension of personality, agreeableness.
Oh wait,
Uh,
I have to stop you right there. I have
yeah,
1 minute on this thing, but I'm gonna invite you to another thing, and then we're gonna start again. So agreeableness, right?
yeah,
Okay. I'll send you the link, dude.
gotcha.
All right, guys, we're back, and we left off on the third dimension, I'm pretty sure.
No, I think we're on the fourth. Yeah,
All right. Oh yeah,
uh,
agreeableness.
yeah, agreeableness, which is compassion and politeness. So yeah, if you're very compassionate, obviously you're very empathetic. You have a concern for others, and you can um, yeah, you're overall just sympathetic. And
Hmm.
so and there's also politeness, which is you're very compliant. You're you have like selflessness, and so like yeah, I should have drank a coffee or something. I am gonna knock out after this. I am so tired.
All right.
um,
What's there anything else about agreeableness, or is what's the next
um,
one?
something that's interesting with agreeableness is that the hell was that? Okay, so some car just like hit something. Um, this is actually a dimension of personality that actually has a big part to do with. I'm gonna piss some people off with this, but I'm gonna say the wage gap in quotation marks
Hmm.
because like when you look at like because the wage gap basically it looks at like the total income, but it doesn't take into into fact. It doesn't take the factors of like personality, which agreeableness. They're going to be like females are not as like mentally like dominant as males, or like I guess would you say like the more agreeable, well, males tend to be more disagreeable. So males like no, I want this raise, while females are like more like they give into it more,
Yeah.
which it just means they need to become more like assertive. And there's also you take into fact that like the jobs that they work, the hours that they work, and stuff like that. And yeah, because when and even there's some it's like in countries like in Norway or Sweden where basically they took out like there's not like the societal gender roles as much there, so it's really just more of genetic. And even there, the females and males choose different jobs, and those jobs that females tend to pick pay less, and so that's a pretty big part of the wage gap. There could be like a percentage of it that is um, discriminatory, which in that case, obviously, that needs help. But a big part of it is factors that are just not taken into account uh, with the uh, the wage gap. But beyond that rant, I'm gonna piss some people off of that. Um, yeah, there's the fifth one, which is neuroticism, and it's volatility and withdrawal. And
Hmm.
basically, volatility is irritability, anger, uh, and agitation. I can't say words right now.
Education, you're good, dude.
No, not education. I cannot say that word right now. Um, and with withdrawal, there's anxiety, depression, and
Okay.
vulnerability.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, with neuroticism, it's a response to negative emotion. And so the less neurotic you are, the less anxious, depressed, and you're going to be more like a calm, more, yeah, a calm individual, which is not always a good thing because sometimes something is wrong and you need to respond with a negative emotion in a way because negative emotion is there for a reason. It's like
Mhm.
it's not there for no reason. Like because like we have monkey brains, so our emotions are there for like reasons. If like you're scared, like then like let's say there's a lion or something, then like yeah, that feeling of scare is like fuck, run, dude.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, if you're separated from your pack or your tribe, then you're going to be depressed, which makes sense. It's like it's a very big motivation to want to like find them back and all that. Like anger is like used like within like combat, and which is a very big motivation for to beat that motherfucker's head in, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, emotions are there for a reason, but they manifest themselves in these either certain ways that props up within the five factor model. And so neuroticism is basically just response to negative emotion. So yeah, um, I think that was it about it. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
not always a good thing to be too neurotic or not enough neurotic. It's like with everything, it's just like a balance.
Yeah. So, I do like certain dimensions like link with one another. So, like, let's say if you're more agreeable, does that mean you're more of another dimension too, as well?
Yes, the dimensions of personality do correlate to one another. I think what was it? Was it? I think it was. What was it too definite? I think it was agreeableness and extroversion. I forgot. I'm like I know I have like basic knowledge in psychology. I wanted to go to Skyline to like learn some more, but that obviously didn't pan out.
Yeah.
But yeah, certain dimensions of personality do correlate to one another. I think it was agreeableness and extroversion that linked with each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. There's also a proposed sixth dimension, which
Oh,
is humility and honesty.
humility and honesty. Do you want to get into
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. There's no aspects or facets to it yet.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's like it's in the when you introduce new dimensions of personality, they need to be separate enough. They can correlate and kind of overlap with one another, but they need to be separate enough that like it can be its own dimension and stand on its own. But yeah, with humility and honesty, it's just how it sounds, like how honest and like humble that person is. And so someone that's very arrogant, yeah, they're not going to be very humble, and so like you're just going to be like in their head, and they're not going to be telling themselves the right narrative, and they're just going to be thinking themselves in the wrong manner. And so they're probably also not going to be very honest either about themselves, and not going to be willing to admit their mistakes, or just going to have a hard time accepting some real truths within the world.
All right. Do any of these dimensions like combat each other? So, or is if someone's like agreeable, would they have trouble with people who are neurotic?
Um,
You can just guess if you want.
agreement. I'm not really sure, no, because you can have like agreeable people that are neurotic. Something that is rare though, is because basically the way that introverts their brains are wired, their reward systems within the chemicals known as dopamine and serotonin just
Hmm.
straight up work different. So introverts tend to be more neurotic. Having a neurotic extrovert is possible, but it's much more rare
What?
than finding it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
gosh.
possible. Yeah, although it is, uh, it's a really weird thing because they're really like talking to people, but they're also quite neurotic. So they're going to be really overthinking those conversations they have constantly.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, introverts tend to be like more neurotic, and also you can predict where someone lies on the on left or right within terms of politics with uh their level of openness.
Ooh. So I'm guessing someone who's very open is more uh democratic.
Yeah, someone who's more open is more likely, decently more likely to be a liberal, while someone who's less open is decently more likely to be a conservative. And when it comes to conscientiousness, um, yeah, conservatives tend to have more conscientiousness, but within the aspects of them, liberals can be industrious, but conservatives tend to beat them on orderliness,
Hmm.
which yeah. There are good and bad parts to that though, because like say you have a company and you need ideas, then you want to bring in a liberal because they're more creative, and they can really bring ideas, but they can't like push them forward, and that's why we need a conservative, where they would be more industrious and orderly, so they can really like start perpetuating those ideas and put and like really get them moving to like make the company money.
So they're more assertive.
No, assertiveness has to do with extroversion. They
Mm.
just they get shit done basically.
Okay, so they're uh you said conscientious, right? Those are the hard workers.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. The five factor model is actually really interesting.
yeah, it really is. Like I learned about it through Jordan Peterson, right?
Jordan Peterson. Here, let me see. Let me search him up. Let me see if his face.
Yeah, you should have heard of him by now, or like you should recognize him.
I think he was on JRE.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I think twice. I think I
yeah.
forget how many times.
Hmm.
But yeah, I saw one of his videos, and it's part of the reason why I got into psychology because I'm like, damn, dude, like this shit makes a lot of sense to me. Even my therapist said that, yeah, I pick up on psychology actually pretty quick. So I'm like, this might be it. This might be like what I want to do. Like I really want to help people. I think most people do. They just don't know how to go about it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I really want to help people. I'm interested in people. Like I'm not super extroverted, but like I'm just interested in people. So yeah, like I think in like their problems and the struggles and what they can get out of them. So I think that becoming a therapist would be like probably the best choice for me.
So,
Give
would
me a
you say
sec.
that? Oh yeah, you're good.
Okay, sorry, my mom came in.
That's fine. Um,
Okay.
would you consider yourself a very empathetic person?
Now yes, before not really, but yeah, now I am. I still need to work on politeness because sometimes I can be an ass.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm a decently compassionate person.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I really try to like step out of my own head and get my head on my ass and really just try to see how is this person thinking because like it may not even be right and I'm probably never going to agree with it, but if I don't like if I don't take the time to try to see how like they're thinking, then like I'm not doing my part basically.
Yeah.
Even if the other person is not trying to see how I'm thinking, I should always be trying to like be the person who is uh I guess just more open, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I guess yeah.
Yeah. You can't change the way people act or feel, but you could change the way you act around them.
Yeah, no, you can constantly change the way that you look at things.
Hmm. So, would you say that you're more optimistic now?
A lot more. Yeah, before I was quite cynical.
All right.
Yeah, my temperament has changed. That's also a pretty interesting thing. Temperament.
Mhm.
It's basically it takes track of like some of behaviors that are they're different from like learning systems and like so for like say like the way someone acts and it's just different from like if they're religious then different from religion or different from like the society that they're in. It's like general behavior basically, and there's like four parts of them known as sanguine, um, melancholic, what was melancholic, phlegmatic, and choleric.
Choleric.
Yeah. So choleric is more on the extroverted, unstable side of things.
Hmm.
So there's not like no good or bad. It's more of like again, as you go to the extremes, that's when you like starts to
Yeah.
problems start to
When you're too
arise.
much of one thing.
Yeah, a balance. It's like Avatar.
All right. Is there anything else interesting about psychology that you want to talk about?
Uh, no, I'm really just like getting. I'm on the basics right now, but it's really interesting, and I'm like feeling like an affinity for it. Uh, but yeah, I think it's like this is really what I want to do, and like I feel like I'm gonna like get somewhere. I feel like I'm at the end of something, but the end of something is also the beginning of something new.
Yeah. So you're planning on majoring in psychology.
Yeah, like I want to probably go to Skyline and try to work my way up to work my way up to something else from there.
Mhm.
Probably get some grants. Probably gonna have to take some loans out, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna figure it out.
college is so much, dude. College is so expensive now. It's crazy.
But yeah, the government subsidizations and the increased living costs have really skyrocketed the prices for like college.
Hmm.
So what do you think about the this like upcoming election?
This coming election, I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm not. I don't pay attention to it too much, but like whenever my parents have it on, I just like stay for 5 minutes. I I just since you watch Joe Rogan, like I I get a lot of information from him, but he basically said that Joe Biden is very like he's just getting old, you know? Like
yeah,
and right now we need someone who's like very powerful, but I'm not sure.
yeah. I remember when he said that he rather because like I am no fan of Trump. I don't hate or like the guy. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm indifferent. But between him and Joe Biden has dementia, so I'm gonna keep my integrity and not vote for Joe Biden. I mean, if I could, I'd rather vote for Trump, not because I like the guy, just because he's actually there. He can say a cohesive sentence
Yeah.
that like he wrote himself. While Joe Biden, he's yeah, no, he has onset
Yeah.
dementia, and that's the fact that we're making a man run for president or like we're supporting him is it's really showing where our morals are. Like, are we going to be driven by hatred, or are we going to be like driven by like reason and like just trying to get the shit over with, pushing our feelings aside and just like fuck it, okay, like we don't like the guy, but at the same time, this guy has onset dementia. Like,
Yeah. I think another reason why people want to vote for Joe Biden is that like right now we're in just like we're in this crisis and like we feel like the the person highest in the hierarchy, the president, we need to change it so that maybe everything will get better, hopefully. Because like
yeah,
Trump is having a terrible go of it.
well, you know, he is definitely like fucking before. Like he was doing good economically, but he was fucking up in a lot of other ways. And
Yeah.
then with this recent thing, I don't think the whole thing is his fault because I honestly like that's a bit of a stretch. I think part of it is just like on our governors because Florida never fucking closed because fucking Florida, Texas reopened too early. California, we're just a bunch of dumbasses over here, and in New
Yeah.
York, I fucking some of the policies over there got a lot of people killed.
Hmm.
Like this, Cuomo was keeping elderly in within the elderly homes instead of putting them in hospitals where they're actually prepared with that to deal with that. So yeah, a lot of elderly died, and like his ratings are like skyrocketing. And I really just I don't know, like America, we're just really retarded right now.
Yeah.
Like no wonder the rest of the world is making fun of us because like god damn, like we are just fucking stupid.
How do you feel
But
about people like advocating for no masks?
I do those are like those people are like Karens or like really hardcore conservatives or libertarians. And libertarians are just something else, dude. Like they hate taxes, but like if we don't have taxes, who the fuck is gonna pay for the roads?
Yeah.
Like we need like government. I'm not a very big fan of government,
Yeah.
and
Government
if
is very
anarchy,
corrupt.
yeah, if anarchy did work, I think we'd all be for it. But anarchy leaves a power gap, and when there's a power gap, dictators arise.
Yeah.
Like when there's a power struggle, like we saw this in World War II, where there was power struggles. Fucking Hitler and Stalin came up, and Mao. So like, did Mao? I don't know. I'm very terrible with history.
Mao Zedong,
Um,
I think. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, but all I know is like when there's like power struggles and like a power vacuum, yeah, dictators and people who really love fucking power tend to go there. And
Yeah.
so yeah, like anarchy does not work, but government, I think who said it? I forgot who said it. Yeah, government is a necessary evil.
Mm.
And so like
Yeah.
yeah, we need to get government to like provide us with security, but we also need to like try to keep our rights at the same time. like our right to freedom of speech. Personally, I'm an advocate of the Second Amendment,
Mhm.
um, and stuff like that. Um, yeah, we really need to find a way to like government give us security, but without like overruling some of our rights, because our rights are also extremely important as well. And you can it's like you can see it like even now, like with the whole Black Lives Matter stuff. Yeah, like some people are just getting their rights trampled over, and it fucking sucks.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's like there's the middle ground there, and we really need a. It really just this all this stuff is going to come through a change of vote, and honestly, we just need to change up our straight up the way our country just fundamentally works within
Yeah.
terms of like how we look at each other. Um, because I also think like America, like we need a lot more like help within the mental field.
Yeah.
Because I think that's also like one part of like why some shootings are happening. It's just like these people they need help, and we're just like, oh yeah, here's some psychotropic drugs. Like we're handing out methamphetamine like left and right. Like you get a Xanax, you get a Valium. Here's some Adderall for you because you apparently have ADHD, even though you probably don't. It's just you don't like sitting still in a classroom because who the fuck does? So there's a lot of things that need to change because like people just want to ban guns, but instead, like as I said earlier, with just handing out psychotropic drugs, like that isn't necessarily it's fucking with people's brains, and as well as like we're a lot quicker to laugh at somebody than to see how they're doing.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching this one TED talk, and this guy was gonna shoot up a school, but this guy just treated him like a friend, brought him to the movies, and he ended up not doing it. And he talked about how like what he's feeling, how what he was gonna do, and yeah, like sometimes stopping some things really just can happen just by being empathetic and more empathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. There's a lot of things that need to fundamentally change with how we conduct ourselves, and it really just layers and stacks on top of each other. So we shouldn't really be looking at the symptoms and more of the causes with some of these things.
Yeah. I really like how you said that. Um. That we're pe people are just like really quick to laugh at people, but they never just like sit down with their thoughts and just think about what might be going on inside their head, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like remember I have a BDD, which is a body dysmorphia disorder, and you remember how like my eyebrows looked really weird and back in like when you first met me.
Yeah, they kind of, I think they curved up, right?
Yeah. So basically, like also with people that are like traumatized, this happens more frequently, and so yeah, basically, like I don't know what happened, but I remember this one person told me about my eyebrows, and then all of a sudden I just became so insecure of them, and it led me to doing a bunch of things that I regretted.
Hmm.
And yeah, no, people laugh at me behind my back. Like I still don't like it now, but it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do about it? Most of the time, when people laugh at somebody else or gossip about them, is because they feel insecure about themselves. So they try to talk about others to feel better about themselves. So
Yeah,
at
for
the end of
sure.
the day, yeah, at the end of the day, who's a better person?
Mhm.
So yeah, or like it's not even that. It's just more of like who is more productive, and I'd rather be the more productive person rather than shit talking somebody else.
Yeah,
And so yeah, no, people were like more quick to laugh at me. Uh, I'm not saying that like have to be friends with me, but instead of just being like, what the fuck, like what's going on with you?
mhm.
And like I'm glad that you did that, where you actually like sat down and talked to me about some things and actually became my friend. So that was
Yeah,
pretty nice. Thanks for that.
yeah, of course, dude. Um, I don't know, like once I saw you, I was like, uh, I knew you from middle school, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna say hi, and then we just start. I feel like I'm a pretty easy guy to talk to, and then I could just like bring up things that we have in common. So I thought it was just really easy to talk to you because we talked about like shows a lot, and then what else did we talk about? I think Avengers Endgame as well.
Oh yeah, I think so. Or was Infinity War? I forgot.
I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, it's pretty.
Part of me kind of misses Elco, but the other part is just like I don't like being around so many people.
How do you like
uh,
Baden?
it's very calming. It's
Really?
just yeah, like I have a conversation with the teachers about a lot of things, and the teachers are actually quite cool. Like I imagine the teachers at Elco in the South City are decent people, but they're just a lot more stressed with a lot more kids. And so like they're just gonna be a lot more like rude and shallow. Some of them not so much, but yeah, you can tell, especially with the older teachers, they're kind of just fed up with everybody's shit,
Yeah. Um,
which is
so
understandable.
you have a more personal relationship with your teachers now?
Yeah, although some of the kids are really disrespectful in Baden. They
Yeah.
can be real bastards. Remember this one kid just grabbed the chair and threw it in the air. I'm talking like the chairs that are connected with the desk. Just threw it in the air, chunks of
No.
it fell off. Like I had to put it back up because I'm like, dude, if the teacher sees this, he's gonna
Oh, so the teacher's out of the room and like just the whole class goes crazy.
not the whole class, but this one person just threw a chair in the air and like chunks of it kind of fell off. And like, oh my god, he threw it like 7 feet in the air as well. I was honestly, I was fucking astonished. Like I was speechless. I was just goddamn baffled at like what I just saw because I have never seen someone's like conduct themselves within that manner, just so like fucking disrespectful and just uh, he was so nonchalant about it either. Like or as
Oh
well,
my
like
God, dude.
yeah, the kids at Baden, yeah, no, they're real bastards. But yeah, the teachers they're quite they're decent people, and you can like have conversations with them, and like it's nice to talk to them about things.
Do you have like your own friend group at Baden? Like who you eat lunch with?
Uh, well, the way that works is like basically in first period, the security guard lady goes around and like she there's like a little menu you can get like ramen and stuff like that. You
No.
pay the money. Yeah, because the
Wait.
school's small enough, so you can do that.
Oh my God, dude. What
Yeah.
the heck?
So or like there's like the just the straight up like the lunches,
Mhm.
the usual lunches. And so yeah, she goes around with that, and then at the beginning of third period, you go pick up your stuff, and
Yeah.
you do that. I bring my own lunch, so I don't do that. But yeah, no, it's just you eat lunch in the beginning of class for third period,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah. So I don't really have a group that I hang out with. One of my friends goes to Baden, but I don't. I mean, sometimes we hang out after school, but it's been a while since I even talked to him. When COVID started, he got extremely paranoid with it to the point that like I just wanted to go to his house to pick something up, and he would not let me.
Oh wow.
He got extremely paranoid, so I was like, "Fuck!" Like, all right then. I mean, now I guess it makes sense,
Yeah.
but then like when it was not even that bad, I was like, "Dude, like, I wash my hands. Like, I'm not a dirty individual. You know that."
And even just like put it like in the front of your house or something. Oh my
Yeah, I just wanted to like I think it was pick up some papers or something. But it was I don't know, but
God. Oh my
beyond that,
God.
like that's my actually technically now I have two friends there, but this the next friend that came there, um yeah, no, since like it's COVID thing, we're doing online school. We kind of just text during class and video chat.
Mhm.
I remember the teacher had technical difficulties, and so like his internet just cut out. So we kind of just we had the rest of class off, which was pretty awesome. So we
Nice.
just played Roblox,
What'd you guys play on Roblox?
like natural disasters, like
Oh yeah,
escape them or something.
that's a good game. I usually play
Yeah,
that and fire tag and some parkour stuff.
this
Uh,
is a pretty cool game. It's basically Call of Duty Zombies on Roblox.
yeah, people sleep on Roblox, man. They always think it's a
Dude,
meme, but it's actually pretty fun.
there's some pretty fun shit on it. I remember
Yeah.
my sister, my sister was playing this cops and robbers game, or like it was like you started off in a prison and then you can also be
Yeah.
a cop, and so the
Hmm.
prisoners have to escape. I looked at her screen. I'm like, she escaped. I have Roblox. I can join her game, and so I became a cop. Try to chase her down, and so I can like arrest her or shoot her. The funniest part about this,
Yeah.
there was this there was this one person that I thought was my sister, and they were just driving. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, they stop, say
Yeah.
hi, and I just shoot. I Glock them down,
Oh my
dude. I'm
God.
like a real life cop, dude. Like
Oh wait, how old is your sister?
she's like 9 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she's pretty fun.
All right. How invested is she in like technology?
Um, Not too much. I mean, she's really into TikTok. Um,
Oh wow, at 9?
yeah, 9 or 10. She's like, dude, the whole like my niece, my cousin, my other niece, and my sister. They're all hella into TikTok. It's annoying because like
Yeah,
I
I'm
remember
I'm guessing you're not. You seem
I
like someone
hate
who hates
TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah.
Like there's some parts of it that are like kind of funny. Some memes in there are funny, but for the most part, it's so fucking cringy. Like I
All
want
the
to
dances.
decimate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's something I can agree with Trump on of banning TikTok. We need to get rid of that Chinese spyware.
Yeah. Oh my God. Are
Yeah,
you
but
on any other social media?
I got rid of Snapchat because Snapchat is boring.
Hmm.
Uh, Instagram I'm on for memes, but only really for the video memes because Reddit I have Reddit as well, but it's not really only pictures.
Hmm.
Um, and the main social media I'm on is YouTube.
Yeah. I spend
I
way too
love
much time
YouTube.
on YouTube, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if depending on where you're looking, you can learn some pretty interesting things. I watch this medieval channel, and this guy just talks about like swords and stuff, and
Hmm.
I've been learning on like sometimes it's like history lessons on how stuff worked back then,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting because like apparently fights were decently more civil, or not more civil, but like they're not as like brutal and barbaric as like we think. Like usually you
Okay.
think of like if someone's like sieging a castle, they murder everybody within the
Yeah.
castle. Actually, that's not necessarily the case. There's like terms of surrender. Usually, most of the time, they let people keep their stuff
Okay.
because they take some things, but they take what they can carry with them.
Hmm.
Because there's like cars and stuff. They like say like you want to take like a silver cross or something, then you have to carry that with you. You can't really take like a whole chest of like of loot and all that
Yeah.
because yeah, most of fighting is actually like 90% of medieval fights is just walking.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's also like why the sword was such a prevalent weapon because you have a sheath and you just put it on your hip.
Yeah. I thought they would just like fight to the death if someone like dueled someone.
Yeah, but no, not exactly. Like it was things were like more complicated than we think back then, which really goes to show like um, parts of society are like constants, and it's just more in the ways that they happen change.
Mhm. Um, Something else I wanted to ask you is like, are you religious? Like, what do you think about
Uh,
religion?
I used to be religious, although I always question it.
Hmm.
Like there's always just some shit in the back of my mind because I used to be a Jehovah Witness. I have to be kind of quiet about this right now because my mom doesn't know I'm an atheist.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I know. I understand.
yeah, but I wasn't like freshman year. I just like I started questioning too much, and I'm like what makes this real? Like my dog got taken away from me. My dad I beat my mom and traumatized me. Like what else? Like three of my family members have died. Um, like there is I was finding the meaning of my suffering, but I found it like through just pure reasoning. I'm like, what the fuck does God have to do with any of this? So yeah. Hang on a sec. I don't. Can I?
All right. Are you all good?
Yeah. Wait. Are you religious?
Yeah. I'm Catholic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, I don't mean to like offend you or anything, but yeah, I really just yeah, I just there's just too many reasons for me not believing in God.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, um, yeah.
Okay. Well. All right. Let's go into a new topic.
Yeah. Um, what else? What can we talk? What can I touch on? Um. Well, okay. What about? Okay. Do you believe in aliens?
Um. They probably exist. They probably just nowhere near Earth.
Hmm.
Because like if you think about it, because there's this one person who just stuck a bunch of chemicals in a bottle, and eventually amino acids came up. So that shows that if the conditions are right, like if the temperature is not too high or reactions are constantly happening, but it's not too low where reactions can happen, then yeah, no, potential like life just starts to appear if the correct materials are there, and then eventually you get to like more complex life if the conditions are right, um, and if the conditions are even further right, with like the moon's tides bringing up certain life up to the surface, and that life eventually evolving to be able to like walk on it and breathe air. Um, yeah, a lot of things have to like align for like even like intelligent life to become a thing. Like with us, the amount of things that had to align from Jupiter's gravitational well, bringing asteroids away, from us being in the Goldilocks zone, to the magnetosphere and the atmosphere, to like us having thumbs is a really
Yeah.
big thing. Yeah, like there's so many factors as to why humans exist in the first place. Not like just life itself as well, but just the humans becoming, getting to the level of intelligence that we have and advancing as far as we have. There's a lot of things that had to happen for that to happen. Um, so yeah, it really just puts things in perspective and makes you a lot more grateful about like just you existing in the first place. Because right now there's like a bunch of UV radiation trying to hit you, like a shitload of cosmic radiation, but that's being nullified by the magnetosphere and our I think was actually our stratosphere, or no, our ozone layer is absorbing a lot of the UV radiation. Only like 1% of it gets in, and that's what we use sunscreen for.
Oh my. Dude, where do
Yeah,
you get all your information from?
I
You're a very
watch
well-read person.
YouTube. I'm actually not too well read. This is a lot of shit on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, like as I said earlier, like it depends where you look on YouTube, but you can learn a lot of things on there.
Yeah. Send me stuff if you find something interesting, dude. Want to just learn more.
Yeah. Also, that magnetosphere is not like, you know how you think about it, like with just north and south.
Hmm.
Those are the two main ones, but there's actually a lot of little mini poles around. So when we say magnetosphere, it's more like the force of the magnetosphere. When it's really there's like a lot of, it's like more patchy, basically.
Yeah.
So when people are like saying like the magnetosphere is getting weaker, it's like parts of it are starting to weaken because probably because the magnetic poles are starting to switch, because we're overdue for that. Like I don't know by how many years that was supposed to happen, like a decent amount of years ago, and so like then yeah, like shit's starting to get weaker. There's this area around like South America where planes there's like radio interference, and so planes can get lost in like the certain area, and so we need
Wow.
to keep track of factors like that. And
Wait, do they
yeah, no,
come
it's
back? Uh,
yeah, there's just some interference because like some electromagnetic waves are starting to seep in, and so like there's like more I guess just I'm gonna call it electromagnetic pollution basically.
do you know what
um
causes them to weaken?
Wait, what?
Do you know what causes them to the spheres to weaken?
The poles to flip or like to weaken? I don't know. Scientists don't even know. We're trying to like we're not we, but like they're trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Eventually I'm gonna become a scientist, but not yet. But yeah, like yeah, no, they have not figured that out yet, which is it's interesting how we know more about like what goes up in like space rather than below us,
Yeah.
because like we can like even if it's outdated information, like the photons that are being fired from like a star or whatever, or like supernovas, like quasars and all that. Like they're still like it's really old information, but it's still like information that we can receive even though it's really like old. And so like we can't do that with the ocean, because like if you look down the ocean, you can only look so far in. But with space, with telescopes and all that, then yeah, you can start to look. And yeah, no, it's just really interesting how that works. I mean, like we've gotten pretty far down deep, but the deeper you go, the more pressure there is. The more pressure is, the more durable material that you need. And even like when we try to dig down into the earth, I think we only got like 10 kilometers or something like that. And like the pressure and heat, or yeah, rather, it started to get so hot that like the drill started to fail, and like there's just a lot of pressure, and like yeah, so like we can't really get to the core of the earth through digging. Um, I don't know, like eventually we'll like figure out exactly how the earth works, but it's quite a difficult thing. We only have like models on how it works. They're probably still quite accurate, but yeah, we've only dug like what, like I don't know how many percent, what percentage into the earth, but it's pretty interesting.
I wanted to talk to you about global warming and like what you feel about it.
Yeah, we need to change our power sources from like fossil fuel and all that. We need to switch to nuclear, wind, and solar
Hmm.
because people just say wind and solar, but they don't keep track of two factors, which is how much battery storage and straight up just wind and solar. Like basically the sun's not out forever. There could be foggy days. There's also nighttime, and it's not windy forever. And I remember in Germany they got too much power, and so they needed to sell some of it off. they
Oh
they made
wow,
negative money because because like you also there's like battery storage because one it takes a decent amount of money to make these batteries, and two, we're still like reaching the upper limits, or we're still trying to find the upper limits on how much we can store in a battery.
wow.
Yeah, and also it takes money and time and resources to make these solar panels in the first place, and we need to clear out land for the wind, and so this is or for the wind turbines
Yeah.
or the wind farms. And so I think this is where nuclear comes into play because people often have like stigmas when it comes to nuclear power, but really when it comes to like just anything like you're radioactive right now. Like radiation is really the emission of energy. So my screen is radioactive right now. Um, it's releasing visible light EM waves to my retina, which can translate to electrical signals, go to my brain, and then I can see. Um, so like when it comes to with radiation, people have a really big misconception of it, and it's not like going to be like a Chernobyl 2.0 because technology has advanced quite far,
Yeah.
and yeah, as like we found ways to store it, and so yeah, like if we take those correct safety precautions, um, the nuclear energy is a very efficient power source. And honestly, we should be working towards that because as societies advance further and further, we're going to need more efficient power sources like because you know like how like nuclear fission works like where how like it takes advantage of like the strong force and extreme amount of binding energy.
Hmm.
And so yeah, like that energy is extremely um I think is going to be extremely vital for us advancing to the future
Yeah.
for just being able to use more power because wind and solar just can't bring us there. It's like I forget how efficient it is with power, but and the carbon emissions are super low with it.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, there are some risk factors, but if we do things right, then I think nuclear energy is like one of the big three on the ways to go. Because people just say, oh yeah, let's switch to wind and solar, but as I said earlier, money, time,
Yeah.
resources, like these things, we need to take account of them and just saying let's do this and that like it's too idealistic and it's not you're not thinking too many steps ahead basically.
And to touch on that, what about dieting? Do you think we might have to actually go more people would have to go vegetarian and stop eating meat?
uh yeah, no, I was watching that one podcast with Joey and he brought up some pretty good points
Yeah.
because like I already knew some of the things with veganism because I've heard like some other vegans talk, which I did agree with. um I may go vegetarian in the future. Right now I'm not really. I can't really because I would have to change my whole family's diet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and later on in the future, I'm not going to have the money for that stuff. I'm going to have to, I can't really pick and choose what I can and can't eat. Um, but later on in the future, when I have more stable, yeah, I may go vegan or vegetarian. Um, Mostly because like I have the amount of privilege to, because in places like Africa, obviously they need that cattle. Um, but yeah, and I think we're going to have to switch to probably vegan and vegetarian stuff. Um, which I don't see like too many problems with, but
We could definitely
if it,
survive on a vegetarian and vegan diet.
yeah, definitely. But it's more of just everybody else not wanting to let go of meat eating
Yeah.
because I fucking love eating meat. But
Yeah.
if there were like healthier alternatives, then yeah. Although I'm not gonna act morally upright with it, not eating meat because that's one thing I kind of see wrong with some vegans. They act morally superior to others, which I
Yeah.
honestly think is like no, because like even if you're like not eating meat, there's still government subsidizations to factory farms. So you're still in that taxpayer money. So you're still contributing to it. So I just don't really see the point in acting morally superior than somebody else. I think that's kind of like douchey and just overall, um, honestly, a bit
Yeah.
narcissistic.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like people should make a lot of people feel bad just for eating meat. But people of course they need to be educated of what they put into their bodies and they have to make
Yeah,
that decision themselves.
I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely do. And I think when vegans do that, or just people who just know about it in general, I think it's really important.
Because a lot of people don't know uh um the effects of what's it called, raising these animals because it takes so much land and water and
It
only
does.
we only have 2% fresh water in the whole world, so that's not a lot.
It is, yeah. Like unless we find a way to like turn salt water into water, yeah, no, we're gonna have problems.
How hard would it be just to make some big filter?
Some big filter. I don't know if it works like that. You know what's funny? China, you know how like their pollution problem? They
uh,
actually make like filter-sized buildings or like, building-sized filters.
yeah, that's what I mean. To like just drop it in the ocean and then just like I don't know.
I, I mean, dude, like if we could do that, I think scientists would have done that a long time ago.
Yeah. Or just like
Uh,
I don't know, like drop a few pills in like the ocean. I don't know. We'll figure it out in the future.
yeah. Uh, yeah, no, it really sucks that like we can't just create material. Like not like create, but like transform material and like because we don't understand quantum physics. I like the more and more we understand quantum physics, the more and more we're able to manipulate things. But at this point, we're like at the beginning stages of it. I mean, not too many years ago, we barely found out what mass is or what's responsible for mass for subatomic particles, which is the Heisenberg. Not that. Oh my God! Wow, how the hell did I forget that? Oh, what was it? No, that was the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Uh, the Higgs boson. There we go.
Suppose. Okay.
Yeah, it's what's responsible for mass at the subatomic level. Because what we call mass at our level is part of it is the Higgs boson, but it's like a very, very tiny percentage of it. But most of it is the binding force for the gluons and the electromagnetic force binding force. Um, and that's what basically mass is for us at this at like our like in the macro state, but in the micro state, yeah, that's what the Higgs boson is responsible for, and it's what separates particles going x amount of miles per hour to light speed, basically, because light speed is not about light. Gravitational waves travel at light speed, gluons travel at light speed, and photons travel at light speed. It's more of if you're not binded by the Higgs boson
Mhm.
uh, or the Higgs mechanism, then you are able to go light speed as a particle.
All right, dude. If I'm being honest, uh, I'm very confused because I don't really know that much about what you're talking about. But the only thing that stuck with me was subatomic, and all I could think about was Paul Rudd as Ant.
You
all
think
I
of what?
all I could think about is Ant Man, bro.
Dude, in the first movie, he would have became a black hole. Like
Oh
he
my.
should have became a black hole. He went
Oh.
tiny as shit.
Shit. Yeah. You're talking about when you went subatomic, right?
Yeah, like putting like just putting that much condensed matter within such like a tiny area. Yeah, no, that should have created a black hole or something, or like really close to.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Honestly, that was. I mean, I could probably talk about a bunch of other random shit, but it's like it's whatever.
All right. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I think this. How long is we started at 9,
It's been like an hour and 40, I think.
dude. I don't know. This was like
I
one of the
expect.
most interesting conversations I had.
I thought this would have been like an hour or something.
Yeah. Time
Damn, all
passes,
right.
huh?
It does.
How'd you like the podcast? just so everyone knows.
Um, I think this is a pretty decent podcast. I actually really like it. It like deals with like a lot of interesting things. Like the first one, I'm worried about that guy. I think anime is like heroin to him. I think he needs some help. Um, yeah, the second one with the two friends Joey and Michael, they were pretty cool individuals.
Yeah,
Like I knew Joey back in middle school, but I never really like talked to him.
yeah. I'm trying to get as many like different kinds of people, just like all of my friends, just because I feel like everyone's like very interesting and they all
Yeah,
like talking.
yeah, no, people are quite complex and interesting. Just like you more need to like get them to get that part out of them. I mean, there are shallow individuals out there,
Yeah,
but even there's reasons for them being shallow. So you can't really be too quick to judge with people because assuming makes an ass out of you and me.
yeah. All right. Thank you for being on the podcast. All right. Bye guys. See you.